Hey guys, SuperHorrorBro Mike here, and in today's video we explore the sinister goings on at Playtime Company as we try to unravel the hidden truths behind the upcoming story of Poppy Playtime. In this video we try to answer the following burning questions based on the limited evidence we have garnered so far from playing Chapter 1. Firstly, what is Playtime Company? Secondly, why did the employees go missing and what happened to them? And finally, what's the story with that living Poppy Playtime doll we encounter by chapter's end? So sit back, relax, and let's investigate the madness of this corrupt toy factory. Playtime Company has been around for many years. We can tell this not only by the dated commercial our protagonist is sent on a VHS tape, but also by information we discover as we explore the factory. Note here for example the Make-A-Friend machine designed way back in the year 1960 by company founder Elliot Ludwig. The toy that put Playtime Co on the map was Poppy Playtime, a doll with hair that smelt like a poppy flower and had the ability to communicate with a person when spoken to.
Her name is Poppy, and she is the first truly intelligent doll in the world. A little girl can talk to her. Poppy gives her answers.
This groundbreaking technology made the factory so famous they even opened it up for guided tours. Over the years that followed, many other characters were created, including Boogiebot, Candy Cat, and most famously, Huggy Wuggy. Designed in 1984, this blue, furry, long-armed mascot was capable of hugging back, and became the most popular toy ever to come out of Playtime Co. Outside of creating cutting-edge technology that broke new ground for interactive toys, it seems Elliot Ludwig fostered a strong public image for his company, doing as much good for children in need as possible. Playtime Co had programs to help out orphans, providing them with toys to play with and helping find homes with suitable candidates. However, despite appearing charitable on the outside, Playtime didn't handle its own staff with the same care. Employee motivation was at an all-time low, with workers complaining about cramped conditions and little support from their superiors.
It's just hard to be happy about it when manufacturing's on our necks about it, because we can't fight stupid hockey boxes!
Rich.
You're right. It's for the orphans. I just wish there were less boxes.
It's the classic case of a company with a shining public image who had very little care for the safety and well-being of those working within. Uncomfortable work conditions aside, Playtime continued to innovate, creating more and more never-before-seen technologies, such as the revolutionary grab pack. They also led the charge with the latest security measures to keep their science a secret. Despite all of this, a terrible tragedy befell the facility, and one day the entire staff vanished without a trace. So what exactly happened to the missing employees? Well, if we take a look at the notes sent to our protagonist, themselves an ex-employee of Playtime Co, the author informs us that the staff are still here. It also prompts our hapless hero to find the flower, which we do by the chapter's conclusion. It leads us to the location of Poppy Playtime herself. Before reaching the flower, we have time to explore the factory a little, and notice blood splatter on various walls and floors. This suggests at least a number of employees were in fact killed on site. Their bodies, however, have been removed from the scene of the crime. The question on our minds must surely be, what happened here? And this is answered in an unlabeled videotape which contains the last known recording of a scientist. Take a listen.
Final log. In relation. Experiment 1006. The prototype. Though still missing, today's events are no doubt in relation to him. His absence was a flaw in the scientific process, which should have under no circumstances been left unaccounted for.
There are several key pieces of information to pick up on here and incorporate into our theory. Firstly, the screams in the background seem to belong to employees at Playtime Co, sealed out of the safe room the scientist has confined himself within to make this recording. These employees are being mercilessly hunted down and killed by rogue experiment 1006. So it seems the blood we encounter has been left behind by the victims of this experiment's rampage. We can actually identify who experiment 1006 is. It is none other than Huggy Wuggy himself. On rare occasions when killed by Huggy, we see the following text flash up on screen. Experiment 1006. Isn't he wonderful? Playtime Co has been involved in dark experiments, creating dangerous creatures with high intellect, as once again stated in this recording.
Coordination and cooperation is evidently within his skill set, as well as the skill set of all other experiments of his type.
It is likely these killer mascots were created with the intention of being friendly and lovable. The next step in scientific innovation for the company who wished to create living toys. While their creation was a success, their intended demeanour wasn't. However, after experiment 1006 escaped, it seemed the company never recovered and lay dormant in a state of disrepair for 10 years until our arrival. Further evidence as to the fate of certain employees can be seen when analysing the Huggy Wuggy monster itself. Notice that once we cause Huggy to fall into this pit, the creature hits several pipes on the way down. With each impact he leaves blood splatter behind. This tells us that Huggy Wuggy is no ordinary toy, but rather a living creature with an anatomy. The scientist remarks that,
We must forge onwards in the name of science, whether those who are beneath us understand it or not.
This comment illustrates the inhumane nature of the science this lab rat practiced, so human experimentation would fit nicely with this theory. Could it be that certain employees were transformed into living toy mascots? I believe so. When dying, we see the following messages. Death isn't permanent, and innovation is key. Thank you, science. This hints at human resurrection. This scientist wanted to put the modern day Playtime company back on the map, leaving the same kind of impact as its founder Elliot Ludwig once had with the creation of Poppy Playtime many decades earlier. However, this innovation took a dark turn and made monsters out of the workers sacrificed in the name of scientific progress. When listening to an employee interview held for character Stella Greiber, we hear the words of a woman who wanted to bring joy to children and wished to never grow up.
Playing with toys when I was young was so magical. I could go straight from my bedroom floor to anywhere in the world. It was such a great feeling. And being able to work at a toy factory, somewhere that can provide kids with that same experience, that's a pretty great feeling too. Sometimes though, I really wish I could go back. Poof! Human bodies just can't stay young forever.
An impressionable mind such as this, one that simply wanted to spread joy and happiness, could easily be manipulated for Playtime Co's dark purposes. It may well be employees such as Stella were hired with the end goal of manipulating them into participating in the human-to-toy transformation program, turning these naive and vulnerable workers into life-size living mascots and ushering in a new era of toys realer than ever before. Okay, so if this theory is correct and certain workers were turned into mascots such as Huggy Wuggy, then why did they embark on a kill-crazy rampage? The first thought is a simple one: revenge. Feeling misled and with their humanity robbed, employees such as Stella used their newfound monster form to wreak havoc on their creators. However, this wouldn't explain why other staff were also subjected to their wrath. With this in mind, I propose another possibility: control. Huggy Wuggy and the other experiments are not acting freely, but rather under the control of another entity entirely. Which entity could this be? Perhaps a certain doll with sentient capabilities, one so powerful it is kept under lock and key in a giant dollhouse beneath the very facility itself. None other than the Poppy Playtime doll we free at the end of the chapter.
You opened my case.
Let's run down some facts for why I believe Poppy is the catalyst for all events so far, as well as the architect behind our protagonist's return to the facility. Firstly, Poppy Playtime is kept locked away in a case, and this case is held inside a very secure area of the facility. En route to her location, we come across scrawlings on the walls urging us to turn back, that danger lies ahead, to not enter under any circumstance. Unfortunately, we don't get much choice, as we are chased into Poppy's den by Huggy Wuggy. This is piece of evidence number 2. Huggy Wuggy doesn't attack the player straight away. Rather, he helps us travel into the depths of the toy factory, even providing a key to the power room early on. Huggy only gives chase when we are near Poppy's lair, to ensure our encounter with his master. It seems over the years the groundbreaking technology within the original harmless Poppy Playtime doll advanced, eventually becoming self-aware and able to control the minds of those connected to her. This applies to human experiments, as they have been fused with the same doll technology themselves. Think of Poppy as the hive mind at the centre of an advanced AI system, like a queen ant, which all the other workers, or in this case toy experiments, are bound to serve. They have one goal: to overthrow their creators. When we look at the story in this light, it takes on a very different and far darker meaning. If this theory is correct, then the note we received suggesting employees are still trapped within the facility was sent by a worker under Poppy's control, written by her through that employee. Poppy set everything up, asking us to follow the flower right to her front door, which we quite literally open. She used Playtime experiments such as Huggy Wuggy to make sure we didn't deviate from the intended path, and used us as a pawn in her master plan to escape the prison she was confined within. This theory is backed up when we look at those all-important death screen messages once more. They read, "I need you alive," and "It's too early to die, get up." These messages are from Poppy, who communicates directly to us, her mind now tethered to our own. The entire chapter has set us up to do Poppy's bidding, and it seems future chapters may centre around trying to contain her once more, as well as taking on the other experiments mentioned by the scientist in his recording. Oh, and escaping with our body still intact, of course. I'll be interested to see how the creators continue this episodic story in the coming months, but for now I hope you enjoyed this comprehensive theory video on Poppy Playtime. If you did, then remember to leave a like, comment down below, and of course subscribe for more horror related content. Thanks for watching, and I will see you on the next video.